Welcome back, everyone. Our mission today is pretty specific, actually. We're diving deep into international property taxes. We're looking for the shortcuts, how you can invest in real estate in places with zero or really minimal annual ownership taxes.
And that word annual is absolutely key here because people hear tax-free property and, well, they often miss the bigger picture. You really have to understand the, let's call them 4 pillars of property tax globally. There's tax when you buy, tax you pay each year just for owning it, then tax when you eventually sell, and finally, tax if you rent it out.
Gotcha. So 4 main areas. And today, we're zooming in on pillar 2, that annual ownership tax. We're setting the bar low, right?
Yeah.
Under 0.5% of the property's value.
Exactly. Or preferably 0.
That sounds like a niche market. How many countries actually hit absolute 0 on that annual tax?
It's more than you might think. 11 countries, last I checked. Truly 0 annual tax.
11. Wow.
Yeah, and they're quite diverse geographically. You've got places like Bahrain, Malta, Monaco, Oman, the UAE is another big one.
Okay, so if 0's the target for yearly fees, that's quite a starting point.
Definitely.
Now, moving just slightly away from 0 into that minimal zone, we see some low percentages like the Netherlands, maybe 0.05% up to 0.3%.
Correct. Those are straightforward percentage models. But then there's this other structure you found in Europe that's, well, quite different.
A fixed fee thing.
Exactly, the fixed fee structure. And what's interesting is why some places use it, like Croatia or Greece. They often charge per square meter.
Per square meter, not percentage value.
Right. Croatia might charge, say, up to 8 euros per square meter. Greece maybe 2 to 16 euros per square meter. Often it's tied to local services or maybe second homes, not the soaring market value.
Which is huge if the property value itself is high. Because the tax doesn't automatically climb with it. Can you run that Croatian example again? It really highlights the difference.
Sure. Let's say you buy an apartment, maybe 85 square meters, valued at $260,000. In Croatia, even at the highest rate of 8 euros per square meter, your maximum annual tax is just 680 euros.
680 euro. And compared to our threshold?
Well, a flat 0.5% tax on that 260,000 property would be 1,300 ardos per year. So 680 versus 1,300. This is significant saving, even at the top end of the fixed fee.
Seems so much clearer, especially for planning. Why haven't more places adopted that instead of percentages?
Percentages are simpler for governments, I suppose. They scale automatically with property value inflation, which means stable revenue for them. But yeah, for the investor, that fixed fee can be a game changer.
But okay, we need to be careful here. Focusing only on that annual tax pillar could be a bit misleading, couldn't it?
Absolutely. Because 0 annual tax doesn't mean 0 tax overall.
Right. You still have to actually buy the property.
Yeah.
And eventually sell it, maybe.
Precisely. Those buying taxes, stamp duty, transfer tax, they're almost everywhere. Take Malta again. 0 annual ownership tax. Fantastic. But you'll still pay a 5% stamp duty when you purchase.
Okay, so that's a significant upfront cost. So if the real goal is to minimize all the friction, owning, renting, selling, where should you be looking?
Well, that's where a place like the UAE, particularly Dubai, really starts to stand out.
Not so.
No annual property tax, as we said, also 0 rental income tax for individuals, and no individual capital gains tax when you sell.
Okay, that covers almost everything. What's the catch?
There's still the transfer tax when you buy. In Dubai, it's currently 4%. It's a one-time hit. But look, compared to many other places globally, that's about as close to a frictionless tax environment as you're likely to find.
And this whole conversation isn't just about saving a few percent here and there. For a lot of our listeners, this ties directly into bigger plans, like residency or even citizenship, through investment.
That's often the ultimate goal, yeah. These low-tax property investments frequently overlap with those golden visa or citizenship programs.
Right.
The investment amounts needed often fit right into the property values we're talking about. The UAE actually has one of the lower entry points, around 205,000 US dollars, gets you a 2-year residency permit through property.
205K for residency.
Yeah.
And comparing that elsewhere.
Well, in the EU, Greece requires $250,000 for its golden visa. Or look at the Caribbean. Dominica offers direct citizenship if you buy approved real estate worth at least 200,000 US.
So understanding where the tax hits may be less on the annual, more on the buying, is critical for planning that move.
Exactly. It's strategic. And actually, there's one more strategic angle to consider, something to think about long term.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
It's about how some tax systems encourage you to hold on to property. Yeah. Think about capital gains when you sell.
Okay.
In some places, like Malta or even Switzerland, the rate of capital gains tax you pay can actually go down the longer you own the property.
Really? So they reward long-term holding.
Exactly. It's like the tax code itself is nudging you towards being a committed long-term investor. If your plan involves holding that asset for, say, 10 years or more, you might find that tax liability shrinking considerably over time. It's basically a built-in tax break for patience.
That frames tax laws less as just a burden and more like a strategic tool you can work with. Something definitely worth thinking about.
Definitely. It adds another layer to the decision-making process.
You are listening to Passport Talks, a podcast on how to become a true cosmopolitan, how to travel the world without visas, create a safe haven for your family, and access top-notch education and healthcare with a second passport or residency.